Well, you can see the landscape has changed dramatically. And I have not left the same road I was on just seconds ago in this video. I just turned the cameras off for a while I drove down that, what I called the savannah or the plains area. But you can see how we're changing into a whole nother kind of environment, which is a little bit more like the one that we started out on in Banning. But as this road progresses, it's going to get more and more desert-like, and the temperature will get warmer and warmer. And so you start out this ride wearing a pretty thick jacket, and you've got your warm fleece on underneath, and at the end you're peeling it off as you pull down into Palm Desert, getting down to a t-shirt underneath and opening up the vents on your jacket, or wishing you had brought your mesh jacket. But it's great riding all the way. I'm going down in elevation again, but I will rise up one more time and we'll descend down into Palm Desert from up in the hills. San Jacinto is over my left shoulder behind me. Oh, can you see that? Yeah, no, not from this angle. I'll have to look up for this video how tall San Jacinto is, and I'll pop that up. One thing you'll see a lot of on this road other than motorcycles is sports cars. And General Motors has a design, like a design department down here. And more than once I've seen a car with a kind of a camouflaged, I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like camo. It's not though. Camouflaged wrap over the whole thing that just hides any visual features. And these are prototype GM cars that are out here. They test them on these roads. So Palm Springs and Palm Desert are kind of neighboring communities, or a long string of resort towns here. Palm Springs being the most famous, and it got its start way back in the 20s. And there was a hotel resort built out here called La Quinta, in the town of La Quinta. But there were date palms grown here, and it's a great place to get dates. Real sweet. They're like nature's caramel. But then the movie stars of Hollywood came to be, the early silent film stars, and but really when the major studios got their businesses really up and going, when they were contracting actors, those contracts that the actors had with the studios, this is MGM and Paramount, things like that, those contracts limited how far they could travel away from the studio during, you know, the periods when they would be on call for shooting. And my understanding is that was 100 miles. And Palm Springs was just under that distance. $912? No, that's a 356. What am I saying? Gorgeous. And so you had people like Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz and Dinah Shore, Roy Rogers, a bunch of others. Oh, there's one more I want to mention, Gene Autry. And they would come out here and they had homes. Desi Arnaz started a hotel eventually in Indian Wells called the Indian Wells Resort Hotel. It's still there to this day. A lot of really cool pictures in the lobby of him. And then they built a golf course, which is Indian Wells Country Club, which I was lucky enough to, my father-in-law had a membership there when he owned a home in Indian Wells. And so I've got to golf it. And for any of you golfers out there, this is like classic 50s golf in the mountains, 3,000 feet. And it's just such a treat to play there. I'll let you all in on a little secret. If you get a room at the Indian Wells Resort, which is Desi Arnaz's old hotel, they had an agreement with Indian Wells Country Club, the golf course, in perpetuity, that guests of the hotel could play the country club, play the golf course. And that is a private country club now, but the public can play if they are guests of the hotel. So just get a room at the hotel and you're in. Thank you. That was nice of them to turn off for me. So I'm coming on down into Palm Desert here slowly. It's not cheap golf. A room is a couple $100, and then the golf is, I think, $125, maybe $150 for a round of 18. Of course, it's some of the best golf you'll ever play. And you split the room between 4 guys. Helps bring the cost down. We've done it and not even stayed in the room. So there is the valley below me, Coachella Valley, home to the Coachella Music Festival. Oh man, I gotta get a shot of that. I think there's a scenic overlook here that I can stop at and give you guys a peek. But descending constantly now, which is another reason why I like V-twins, is if you want to ride the engine compression down, they have, yeah, here it is, they have better engine compression than 4 cylinders. Somebody's got their Porsche out.
If you like motorcycles, custom builds, or just like a good story about a man's 3-year effort to build a tribute to his childhood teacher, get a copy of Creating Mr. Corton. In it, you'll learn how this man changed this man for the better. How this man took this and built this. How these guys became lifelong friends and enthusiasts of motorcycling and craftsmanship. And how the name Urban Monk originated. It's available from Amazon anywhere in the world that Amazon ships, in both paperback and ebook, or you can purchase through a link found on urbanmonktv.com. Get your copy of Creating Mr. Corton today.
There's a valley below me. It's Palm Desert. If you're looking at the green down there, it's called Bighorn. Really nice homes in there. Palm Desert, the town below, we'll ride down there. In fact, there is the road we are going to take down. Lake there. Golf course around it. All right, down into Palm Desert. Twisty time. $35, I'm doing 65. We'll bring her down a little. Stay in your lane. Roy Wilson Memorial Highway. I've always called it the Palms or Pines to Palms. Gotta watch for rocks. There's a nice 30-mile-an-hour switchback. Go over that thing. That guardrail, I mean. Another beautiful day in Southern California. Oh, hello. Nice sweeper. sweet. Whoop. Looks like it straightened out for a second there. So I'm coming down, ears have been popping, and as I get into the outskirts of Palm Desert and Bighorn, we'll start to see, you know, the palm trees and the swimming pools and movie stars, I guess. The only big celebrity I ever ran into in Indian Wells was Brian Setzer from the Stray Cats. He had a home here. Maybe he still does. I don't know. I was in a Ralph's grocery store, and I'm just doing grocery shopping. We're on vacation down here at the time. And I see this guy with tattoos all up and down his arms with the most amazing hair I've ever seen on a man. But I didn't immediately recognize who it was because my head just was not into the fact that I had just arrived in California from Minnesota, maybe the day before, maybe even that day. And just didn't have my head in the game and thinking, you know, I could run into celebrities, I should be paying attention. And there's this guy with this amazing hair at Ralph's shopping for pita bread on an end cap of a display aisle. And I was so mesmerized by his hair, I didn't even realize that I was staring, and it dawned on me that this person I was staring at had become aware of the fact that I was staring at him. And so I smiled, and he just smiled back, and you know, we went our separate ways. And I never, for no moment, did I understand who I was looking at. And then I ran into my wife because we had split up in the store to kind of divide and conquer the shopping. Here's Bighorn on my left. And she says, "Did you see Brian Setzer?" And I thought about it for a second. And I said, "Yes, I did." And so Brian Setzer probably thought that I was just another person who recognized him and his celebrity and was staring at him for that reason. And I wasn't. I was staring at him because he had this amazing hair. And had I actually said something to him, I would have said something to the effect of, "What kind of product do you use in that lid of yours, man?" So at the bottom of the hill here, coming off of Highway 74, you can see the palm trees, so clearly that's why it's pines to palms. We are going to hit the Rodeo Drive of the desert, as it is sometimes loosely called by locals. Oh, it's getting warm. I'm going to have to take a layer off here. The Rodeo Drive of the desert is El Paseo. Some fine shopping. You know, the Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Ralph Lauren, the usuals. I wish I could stop and have breakfast at my favorite restaurant out here, which is Café des Beaux-Arts. It's a classic French restaurant right here on El Paseo, across from the Tommy Bahama store and restaurant. But lockdown's got everything closed. Best I'll do is an oatmeal and a coffee at Starbucks. But anything's nice down here. It's just such a beautiful area. Yeah, the heyday for this place was the 60s. If you watch the James Bond movie Diamonds Are Forever, there's a fight scene between two women who go by the names Bambi and Thumper and Sean Connery. And it's in this amazing house that overlooks Palm Springs. That house was for sale here a while back, and I wanted to go to an open. Here's El Paseo. So what do we have here? Oliver Peoples. I'm wearing Oliver Peoples. They're nice glasses. Escada. I don't know, what am I? Where are the big brands? I think they shut down a bunch of them. Business hasn't been so good during the lockdown. Anyways, this is El Paseo in Palm Desert. God, they even boarded up shops here. Wonder if they were expecting looting. Clearly they were. Unbelievable. I've never seen it like this. Wow. Nice steakhouse. Well, Starbucks is open. Hey, I'm just going to end it here, you guys. If you like what I'm doing, please give me a thumbs up. And subscribe if you want to become an urban monk. Thanks for watching.